Hi, y'all. Welcome back. So I guess today is going to be the first day of my stories. Technically my second time because of the ghost one. But if you haven't seen the one of my ghost stories, do go back and check that because I am going to reference that video in this video, just so you know. Not like there's a lot of videos, so it won't take you very long. So I'm going to start with my life before I remember, like from when I was born. So, as I had mentioned previously, obviously my parents were very young. My mom was just barely 15. When I say just barely, my mom's birthday's in November. I was born in February. And my dad was 16, going on 17 when I was born. So when you have young parents, it's going to be interesting. I know that. I'm from my mom's point of view, I don't really know anything from my dad's point of view. I've never really gotten any information from my dad about him and my mom and their time or anything like that together. All I know is asked him, I was a mistake. And if you ask my mom, I was just unplanned. Sorry, cat was trying to jump up on the desk and realized he didn't have room. Oh, no, he's still going to try. Just slide this way for a second. There we go. That should work. Hey. Okay, sorry about that. When you got 4 cats, it keeps things interesting. So I know my mom and dad had dated for, my mom said about 5 years, including from when I was born. And my mom lived with my dad and his mom and sister, Sherry, my aunt. Like before I was born and then up to 9 months after I was born. Midge still owns a house, and my grandpa, my dad's dad, lived next door. It was that way my whole life. I know it was that way for a very long time. But Midge didn't like my mom, and my mom knew that, and so my mom didn't really want to stay, which is why we only lived there 9 months after I was born. I don't really know a whole lot. I know my mom's point of view. I don't really know anyone else's point of view of that time. But it's not my part of the story to tell because I don't remember any of it. I was too little. I do know my dad dropped me on my head shortly after I was born. It was an accident. I was apparently sleeping on his chest and he fell asleep, and I don't know. I rolled off the bed and hit my head on the floor, which was hardwood. I know, at this time, of course, we were in Wisconsin, because that's where my mom is originally from, but at some point in time, when my mom found out she was pregnant with me, and then, my grandpa on my mom's side had, changed truck driving jobs or something, and where they ended up moving down to southern Indiana. So when I was 9 months old, mom packed us up and we went down to southern Indiana. And she lived with my grandma Snyder. Then she met my brother's dad, Tim, while they were, I was still newborn. I think I was turning a year old or something like that when she met Tim. I wasn't very old. And he's the one I kind of knew of as my dad until I was in kindergarten. So now to the ghost story house, the first story of that house, that's the first house I remember, as far as any memories go. So I was probably 3 going on 4 years old, because it wasn't long after that house I was in kindergarten. Well, I should say it was like a duplex apartment kind of thing. It was a small 1-bedroom place. Um, it's where I saw my first cicada, which I think those bugs are still really cool. um, it's where I saw my first praying mantis. It scared the bejeepers out of me. That thing was just. Of course, when I guess as a little kid, it seemed like it was huge. I mean, I don't think they're scary anymore. I think they're fascinating now, but as a little kid, it was scary. Seeing a big full one. But in that house, as much as there was some fun memories like that, and I remember laying with Travis down in a ant mound and laying in it for a while and having the ants crawling through our hair and then having lice not long after that. You know, and then I remember there was one time as well at that house where for no reason, it was just me in the living room. I was either putting away my toys in the toy box or I was taking something out, but I wasn't doing anything like really physically active. But my heart started beating like crazy for no reason. And I remember like sitting against the wall between our toy box and like where the other adjoining wall met, where there was a window which oversaw the sidewalk leading up to the main door we used in the kitchen. My heart started pounding like crazy, and it freaked me out. And so I went and sat along the wall and then yelled for Mom to bring me a I yelled for her, and then she asked me what I wanted, and then I was like, I don't know, can you get me a glass of water? And then she brought me a glass of water, and then by the time I took like the first couple swallows, my heartbeat started going back to normal, but was like, did like a couple hard thumps, and then like stopped for a second, and then like a couple hard thumps, and then like it did that a couple times, and then went normal. That was like one weird experience that I've had my whole life. I've had episodes like that at random for no reason, like me driving and on a back road or a road I know well, not any concern or anything, and then my heart just starts racing. I know it's some health issue, but that's not really any part of the story. One of the bad memories I have of living in that house was Trav's dad was violent back then. He's not now. I don't harbor any type of hatred for him. He's not a woman beater by any means now. Some relationships are like fire and gasoline together, and Mom and Tim would fight, and Tim would get physical. Not so much like he never like punched her or anything like that. He'd just like shove her into a wall and scream and get into her face. But there was one time where he pinned her on the floor and was choking her. And I remember this fight specifically because of my brother Travis and his reaction. Because when this happened, and I don't know what the fight was. That was between Mom and Tim. That was their thing. That's none of my business. It's not my story to tell either. I know Tim's happily married now, and I wish nothing but the best for them. I love them both. Mary, you're great. If you ever see this. Tim's changed. I know that what he was with my mom is not who he was with Sarah or now Mary. Like, it's that, at least that part of it anyway, that I know of. I couldn't say any of the whatever for that, but to that one specific fight, I remember Trav running to the door, or to the drawer where we had our silverware, and Mom had a paring knife with a white handle. And Trav ran and grabbed it and gave it to Mom and screamed, "Mom, cut him or kill him if you have to," because it was Mom pinned to the floor and